Yeah, so I think mental health is extremely important for a lot of reasons. I think there is no health without mental health.
Yeah, the beginning of the Healthy Minds Checklist stemmed out of our Young Adult Leadership Development Program called our Young Advocates Program. Young people at the time were working on passing policies at their different colleges, such as asking for the suicide hotline to be added to the back of every student ID, or asking for more cultural competent therapists on their college campuses. What we learned from that cohort of young adult leaders was that colleges were actually really excited about these policy recommendations, and some of them had the money or the resources to implement them, and some of them didn't, but they were encouraging the students to keep advocating so they could find ways to implement those resources.
Yeah, so with the Healthy Minds Checklist, I was involved in making it because I was part of the Young Advocates program back in college. I experienced the loss of a friend due to suicide when I was a sophomore and wanted to get involved with mental health. And through the Young Advocates program, I saw a lot of discrepancies on college campuses with mental health care and resources for students. So some of my peers and I got together to work with teachers at our schools to include mental health resources on syllabi and talk about ways that we can involve students in mental health and their own mental health on campus.
After that cohort, we brought in another young adult cohort, and they wanted to continue the work. Our question was, how could we reach more college students and more colleges across the state of Colorado?
Yeah, so my role in helping with the Healthy Minds Checklist was just doing some background research into that, working with elected officials like Representative Michael St-Jeannet on trying to draft and work on other mental health initiatives and public policies in Colorado. And hosting and working on a virtual mental health event to kind of provide resources and support and kind of advocate for this checklist that we were working on, kind of spreading the word about it with young folks in Colorado.
The Colorado Department of Higher Education approached Young Invincibles and asked us if they'd be willing to partner with us to create a package of program recommendations that wouldn't have money behind them, but these programs would be low cost and equally effective. We were really excited to partner with the Colorado Department of Higher Education, and from that stemmed the Healthy Minds Checklist. I believe the Healthy Minds Checklist should be passed fairly because there is not a system right now that is overlooking all the colleges across the United States with program recommendations on how to better support their students when it comes to mental health.
I think it's important for universities to have the checklist because students don't always know what is available to them in terms of mental health resources, and unfortunately, a lot of times students aren't seeking these resources until something horrible has happened. So in my opinion, this checklist is extremely important to make sure that when a crisis happens or if someone just needs general help with their mental wellness, they know where to go and they know who to ask and what to look for to be able to get the help that they need.
Yeah, so I think the Healthy Minds Checklist is so important because, especially for those who are, students or going to school, I think, kind of like I just said, like school can be a huge stressor on you. It's, bringing in a lot of external issues, like whether it's, you're away from home, maybe you're in a new city or something, and also internally, like you're learning about yourself. It's a really, transformative sort of life stage you're in. So I think it's really important to have these, resources and support available for people that are going through, such a pivotal moment in their life.
Mental health is part of regular healthcare. It would be absurd to not have general healthcare for students, and the fact that it's not widely recognized that mental health is part of that, under that umbrella, is crazy to me. And so I think that we need to normalize mental health as part of general healthcare, and for that reason it needs to be widely known and spread across universities. And I think the Healthy Minds Checklist is just the first step in raising that awareness and making students aware of what's available to them.
Yeah, so I think this legislation should be introduced federally because, I think these support and resources shouldn't be for just people in Colorado, it should be available to everyone, no matter what school you go to, geographically or whatnot. So I think it's really important to make this a federal legislation so that it can, widen its positive impact and reach for everyone.